So what happens when you post a picture of yourself in a Star Trek dress on a free online dating site? Well, you get hooked up with some nice guys like Man in Uniform. And some young whippersnappers.
Smoking.
And some oddballs. Meg Phillips got an email from I'm a Guy and is curious why he feels the need to specify. And a significant number of nerds.
That's some quality nerdwear you got going on there. But hey, what away team couldn't use more red shirts?
In which I fail at math, date a Jedi, and explore the correlation between boobs and self-esteem. I'm pretty certain I have a learning disability, because while I rock fairly hard at all things algebraic, trigonometric, and geometric, basic arithmetic defeats me. Addition, subtraction, and division are all somewhat pesky, but multiplication is my nemesis. I do okay on the small numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 is okay most of the time, but 6, 7, 8, and 9 pretty much kick my ass. In my brain, anything that sounds like 6 times 9, or 8 times 7, or 8 times 6, or 5 times 8, it all equals roughly 50 or 60 something. This was the cause of some unpleasantness for 11-year-old Meg, because in the 4th grade she got a C in math, following which her dad made her spend many long hours filling in multiplication table charts. It was not at all fun, short-term, and sadly it had no effect long-term. 54, 48, 56, 63, I find these numbers both frustrating and slightly traumatic. As it happens, I also got a C in calculus a number of years later. This was the first C I'd gotten since 4th grade, and unfortunately it was one of 2 C's I got that semester, the other being in biology class, to which I frequently did not go on account of not liking it. A clue, perhaps, that I should reconsider my choice to major in biology. As for the calculus C, I actually went to class and worked on stuff and hired a tutor, and I am grateful to have gotten the C. To this day, I have no idea what is involved in this type of math, other than something called the chain rule, which I remember because my professor had a thick accent and he called it
the chain rule.
He was also fond of saying,
"This is easy, okay?"
Which just goes to show that 2 people can inhabit the same physical space, but still be on entirely different planets. This information may seem only tangentially related to dating. You see what I did there? That's a math joke! But I'm starting to feel like I have another learning disability, because I've spent a long time trying to learn how to succeed at relationships, and it doesn't feel like I'm getting anywhere. In fact, I've got a sizable list of spectacular failures, and the whole thing is both frustrating and slightly traumatic. This is not easy, okay?
Hey, sexy! You're adorable.
Want to get together sometime?
So many suitors, so many dates. How marvelous I must be, tra-la, tra-la. Some of the suitors even appear to be normal, by which I mean they haven't contacted me to say,
I'm so smitten. I think you're a computer-generated robot.
Among the non-weird guys is Skywalker 12.
Call me Tim.
Tim and I agree to meet one night after work at Starbucks. But he gets sick and he has to cancel, meaning I fail to go on more dates in 1 week than I did all through high school. While mathematically not as impressive as this sounds, this is still a bit of a disappointment to my ego, which by this point is getting a bit overblown. If I were the sort of person who blames other people for her problems, I would explain to you that in junior high I got picked on and made to feel really ugly by my arch nemesis Kathy, and now I'm making up for lost time. Good thing I'm not that kind of person, huh? On the day of coffee date take 2, I get held up at work, and I dig into my purse for my quaint little flip phone, only to realize I've left it at home. Frick-a-frack! The force does not appear to be with Mr. Skywalker and me. Hoping he doesn't think I've stood him up, I drive to the coffee shop and rush breathlessly inside to find him waiting, sipping a cup of coffee. I give him the obligatory hello hug, and then I go to stand in line to buy my own coffee while he waits. I glance over to see him watching me stand in line, and I wonder if I should smile and wave, but I decide against it. Then I look elsewhere because it's kind of like being in an elevator and not meeting anybody's eyes because there's no opportunity for conversation. I try to appear interested in a tower of decaffeinated coffee. And actually, I do become slightly distracted by the picture of a two-tailed mermaid at the top of the display. Remembering that in the 14th century, two-tailed mermaids were depicted with something between said tails, namely, a vajayjay with teeth. I resist the urge to share this bit of trivia, and we have a nice chat, following which he asks,
So would you like to do this again sometime?
Sure. But the next day, I start to log on to OkCupid, and I pause. I just can't muster the wherewithal to deal with new and potentially weird suitors. The following day finds me feeling the same way. A week goes by and I realize the reason I'm reluctant to log on is because I am tired. Huh.
So what are you tired of exactly?
Didn't I turn you down?
Don't change the subject. Why are you tired?
I'm just not cut out for this whirlwind dating thing. I want to fall in love with somebody, you know? Find an interesting guy who lives deep and marrowy life and maybe get married again someday even. 3rd time's a charm.
It's always me.
No offense, but I like smart guys.
I have recently went back to school.
Maybe I should take a dating hiatus.
Are you sure you're not a robot?
Anyway, toward the end of the week, Tim sends me a Facebook friend request. I think this is a little odd, an opinion shared by some friends and disputed by others who, as it turns out, have asked out people or been asked out via Facebook.
That's what younger people do now. You're just not used to it because you're 40.
39.
Same diff.
However, for once, I am not dealing with a young whippersnapper. Yay me! And I think he should know better. When I checked my OkCupid inbox, he has sent me a couple of emails asking if there was something he did wrong on the date. I don't like it when guys ask me this. And it happens more than once. Do they want me to grade them? B-. Would have been a B+, except you have lettuce in your teeth. I tell him that I appreciate the coffee, but I won't be available for a second date. Take care, Wayne, I write. And later, I feel really, really bad when he replies with,
It's Tim, but I guess that's irrelevant.
never underestimate the power of an overblown ego. Somebody famous said this. Or possibly it's in the Bible. I can't remember, and okay, I may Google it later, but the important thing to take away is the message, which is, well, know yourself. I got picked on a lot as a kid on account of being a nerd. Oh no, it's my arch nemesis, Kathy! The thing about getting picked on for being who you are is that unless you are uber confident, you may pretend to be someone you're not. I pretended for a lot of years, and I can't say it was particularly satisfying for me, or for anybody who had to deal with me on a regular basis. Which is why I'm proud of me for, over the last few years, having embraced my inner nerd.
I'm awkward, I'm an outcast, and I'm given to hyperbole.
Greetings, Earthling!
Who are you?
I'm your 39-year-old self, here to visit you from the future.
Awesome! Why'd you call me Earthling?
It just seemed like the thing to... Listen, I'm here to tell you not to worry. You are going to turn out okay.
But look at me!
Look at me! Check it! You're going to develop boobs and self-esteem.
I get boobs?
Yes, you only have to wait till you're 19.
I really get boobs?
Listen, boobs are overrated. The self-esteem is the important...
I get boobs! I get boobs!
We'll work on the self-esteem. By the time our story begins, I've embraced my inner nerd pretty tightly. So tightly, in fact, that in August 2010, I decided to celebrate this fact by throwing a nerd party. It's been kind of a rough summer. I spent the previous 6 months getting divorced, then dating and losing my best friend, and then enduring an ill-advised fling with a young whippersnapper. I'm kind of lonely. But I've been hanging out a lot with my friend Adam, who is also lonely.
Hey!
Well, you are. Adam is gay, which is awesome because knowing this, I only fall slightly in love with him, which is good. Aw. Anyway, we spend the summer together, talking about life, the universe, and everything, and also laughing a lot. And by the end of the summer, I am halfway convinced I'm a person worth knowing and liking. I'm very much looking forward to the nerd party, which includes such assorted activities as lightsaber battles, nerd Jeopardy, a spelling bee, etc. I make it a costume party because I suspect my nerd friends are secretly dying to dress up as Han Solo, Clark Kent, etc. I myself would like to be a superhero or maybe Princess Leia, but I'm newly separated and totally broke, so I buy some red fabric, grab some gold paint and a black magic marker, and make a Star Trek dress. The dress is surprisingly well received, both at the party and later when I post my picture on Facebook. Now, when I say well received, I mean people tell me,
You're hot.
which 13-year-old Meg pretty much goes nuts over.
I get boobs! I get boobs! I get boobs! I get boobs!
It's a big, fat ego boost, and I start my online dating adventures feeling 70% okay about myself. A whopping 20% increase. I'm not saying it's a healthy 20%, mind you, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm not a miracle worker, you know. On guard! Man in uniform is nice, And he smells good, and he knows how to rob a bank. I do like him, but I'm not sure if he's entirely deep and marrowy. Plus, our conversations don't always click, click, click effortlessly along. Initially, I hypothesized it's because he's not a nerd. However, one night he offers to cook me a steak dinner at his house. And when I ring the doorbell, he opens the door in a stormtrooper helmet. Theory disproven, in a rather nice way.
Is it going to get easier?
It will. Next year, Kathy's going to go to a different school.
Who's Kathy?
Hang on, what's today's date?
May 24th, 1983.
Frack, I must have subtracted wrong. Well, it's not a total loss, I can see Return of the Jedi. So you're 11, huh?
I'm 12. I'm starting junior high school in the fall. I'm kind of nervous about it. Aren't you going to say something reassuring?
Han Solo will be okay.
Good, I've been worried.